All right, going live. All right, we're live. All right, check it out. Drunk Shepherd here, or False Shepherd here. So what we were talking about earlier, because I had an Instagram feed. I'm an Instagram, Anthony Gomez 0331. If you want to follow, anyways. So what we're talking about is just what's going on with just how everything's polarized and how everything is just, everybody's just wilding out. With these people that were killed in Wisconsin, and what's going on with a lot of the media. Media is a sneaky bitch. Media is like that side chick you had when you had your main chick, and the side chick would always go to the places you went or ask for a car. So like really, really sneaky shit, or go through your phone and get all jealous and shit. It's pretty back in like 2007. This is what it reminds me of. But anyways, the media is horrible. It really is horrible because the divide the media is doing is ridiculous. It's because it's just it wants a very violent reaction, and I don't know why. I don't know why people. Well, I do know why. Honestly, America is very obsessed with violence. If you go to Europe, go anywhere else, sex is a very big thing. That's actually it's normalized back in Europe and stuff like that. My favorite commercial when I was drunk in Ireland in a redhead's bedroom after I had sex with her while in the service was this commercial was with a Guinness, and the guys would leave the Guinness on the smallest girl's back. You see one guy pick it up this way, and that way. And one guy drank it that way. So you're like, oh, automatic threesome. And I'm like, you wouldn't show this in America. But you think about America, how violent we are, the games we play, the video games, just the way that we are with violence. America loves violence. And, you know, that can even argue to go on to the Second Amendment, how America is really pro-gun. But I get it, but I love fucking guns. And I think guns are a very important thing in any modern society. It's a way for you to keep your government in check, and I respect the shit out of that because that's how it should be. Your government should fear you. You should never fear your government. You should never fear it, but they should fear the fuck out of you. Maybe one day you get fucking pissed off, go in your pajamas with a bunch of guns and a bunch of your friends, overthrow it. That's the purpose of it. That's the purpose of the Constitution. But America loves violence, and unfortunately that's bleeding over into the media and how the media wants to freaking split us with just this idea of conservative and liberal. And it's sad. Yeah, the people died in Wisconsin. You know, if like I said, you can go on, you can see the video on certain media sites. Well, you really can't. You got to go on freaking, what's that website called again, White Claw? Rotten.com's dead. It's Bestcore. Yeah. You see the whole video in Bestcore. You'll see the kid getting hunted down. First was a Jewish kid that came up to him, and the Jewish kid was saying, quote, these words, shoot me, nigga. And guess what? He fucking shot him. And it's because the kid, that young man attacked a 17-year-old and he used deadly force. And a lot of people don't understand, why would you fuck with somebody with a gun? Why would you even try to disarm somebody with any kind of weapon? They're going to fucking shoot you, and it's going to hurt a lot, and you're going to die. So I don't understand why he thought it was a good idea because the kid was 17. So he attacks a 17-year-old, and he gets shot in the head. And then the weird thing is, here, like I said, the lesson's free. So when you shoot somebody in the head with a 5.56 or anything like that, and they're not moving, and they're very quiet, they're fucking dying very slow, and they're dying very painfully. If they're fucking screaming top of their lungs and freaking saying, oh my God, I'm going to die, you got enough time to go to In-N-Out and take them for freaking a good old freaking 4x4 and you'd be good. But that's just how it is. You need to know, a lot of civilians don't know that, and, medical professionals know that. If you're making enough noise and you're wounded or you're hurt, you're fine. If you're quiet and you're going to sleep, it's not good. And that goes to car accidents, to gunshots, to anything like that. So this kid got shot in the head. So the kid runs away. The 17-year-old runs away he shot the 25-year-old or something like that in the head. Runs away, and they try to ambush him again. Like, why would you do that? Why would you jump on this guy? But one guy pulls out a Glock. Pulls out the Glock when the 7-year-old was on his ass, shoots him in the fucking arm. And what do you think's going to happen? Obviously, if you freaking try to disarm somebody, you're going to get shot. So he shoots him in the arm, and this guy's complaining about it. Then the kid walks to the cops. He walks with his hands up. So people were saying, well, he was white. They shouldn't have shot him. I'm so sick of the race thing. Now, the cops didn't fuck with them because they knew they were outnumbered. There were a lot of people out there. Not to mention the kid technically was not a threat because his M4 or AR-15 was slung around his fucking chest, and his arms were up. So, what would he do to that kid? That's why I let him go. Then they arrest him because, yet again, this is why I said the fucking media is the fourth branch of government, because They dictate what happens. The big old fucking outcry, and they decided to freaking arrest this kid. And why? Why are you going to arrest this kid? He literally, there's video of him protecting himself, defending himself, and you decided to arrest him because of outcry. It's the same outcry with that stupid fucking, I hate that case, that Trayvon Martin thing. That was such a bad, the media picked the worst thing to even pick up. Both people were at fault. Both were idiots. The Zimmerman kid's a fucking idiot. Not to mention that Trayvon kid, he just picking a fight, and unfortunately, that idiot defended himself, and you know what happened. The rest is history. It's fucking stupid. But it just goes to show you, man, like, people are just dumb, man. Why would you do something like that? Why would you put yourself in a predicament like that? You know it's going to be hostile. You know, as people are going to treat you with violence. Everybody likes violence. I hate about being American. It's all about violence. Everybody wants violence. You look at violence towards women and everything like that. Everybody downplays that, and everybody, you know, that's why in the military we have such a hard problem. All these sharp classes and everything. If you raise your fucking son right and tell him, hey man, women, when they say no means no, no means no. That's basically it. There's no reason for you to even advance on a woman. Don't use any kind of violence towards anything. Violence to me is, I love violence. I really do. But it's really prehistoric, and it's just a way that it should never be used against, unless, like I said, I'll always say this: a means to an end. A means to an end. If it's the only option you have, you can use that violence. You know what I mean? What do you think, Hernandez? Anything? Are you still there, or you left?
No, I'm here. Still there? So I guess just kind of going back to your first point about the media. I noticed that like a lot of topics that the media plays, or the angle, that they try to play when something happens, is that it's all played off of emotion. So when something happens, they tug on your heartstrings with a picture of this smiling person when they die, or like their kid photos and stuff like that. When in reality, you don't really know the whole story, and not everyone's interested in the whole story because they saw those pictures or because they saw the color of his skin. And the way that the narrative is played, it just kind of sucks that you don't get to see every angle, or you don't know the whole story, because how the media plays now is mainly based off of views. And the thing that's going to get views is, the color of someone's skin. It's going to get views is, she was a straight A student or something like that. Just like things that are not really relevant to the story of what happened, or they have like a very biased approach to the subject, instead of actually, like how the media used to play just the facts. What are the facts? Every news station seems to have a different doctor or a different professional in a different field when they're getting their sources or any data or research and stuff like that. It's just weird.
I love it. I mean? I love it. I love academia. I regret being any part of academia. Just because you have a college education, you're brilliant. My sister can vouch for me. I worked at JPL when I was fucking a high schooler. I worked in the computer security department, and it just baffles me that people hold education as the most important thing. There's so many people I've met in my life that were not college educated that were educated. And yeah, you're right. They play on that note of emotion. And I was raised by a white step family. And my favorite thing about them was I had a grandmother, and Brenda can attest to it. My sister can. She was fucking mean, huh, Brenda? She was a mean fucking woman, man. But the thing about her, though, every information she gave you, was very critically thought. There was no emotion behind it. There was no it was very black and white. And I love that woman to death because that stuck with me. Everybody makes things complicated. You're right. They show this picture of this person, like Trayvon Martin, this little kid. They didn't show the picture of this kid, freaking doing, drugs and getting all fucking drunk off that freaking cis or shit, White Claw?
Lean or whatever.
Lean. When they did the autopsy on him, his liver was pretty shot because from all that lean he was taking. But that you can't find that in the media. You have to really look in the toxicity report from the autopsy. But it's shit like that, you know what I mean, Gonzo? So, Hernandez, sorry, I'm fucking drunk. I am so drunk, but I'm going to drink more.
It's like how many people are in the back.
And I got Brand doing my taxes. I got White Claw next to me, and I got my daughter here telling me, what if they killed Kyle? The protest did kill Kyle. Who the fuck is Kyle? Like Kyle from South Park?
Kyle?
I don't know.
I think that was the name of the kid, the AR-15. I think that was his name.
Oh, the kid? Well, they would have killed him. You'd never report on it.
I don't know if you heard about the that one random Trump protester who just like allegedly was a Trump protester and someone just walked up and shot him.
Yeah, see that right there? That's what I'm scared about. That's going to incite violence, and I'm thanking God nobody retaliated because that. Look, man, we all can dare our days. Here I go getting back on the government watch list because I know I already am on it. Is the fact that we're all Americans, and for you to think it's all right to kill your fellow fucking countrymen. I got a question from Jasmine. I'll ask you a question real quick, but hold on. In the first place, it's ridiculous. When we should honestly, I quote these words, we should kill our fucking masters. It's not your fellow countrymen that's oppressing you. It's your fucking government. That's who is oppressing you. That's who's taking your rights away. It's not the guy next to. It's not the white claw next to me.
I'm waiting for that bullet.
Come and shoot me.
I'm
Yeah.
waiting for that bullet to come through the window right now.
Yeah, you shouldn't be killing a Trump supporter because everybody's views are different. This person's thinking that they're making a change. I hate him because he supports Trump. Yet again, that goes just back to race. That's the stupidest idea ever. I'm going to hate you because of different color of your skin. So hold on real quick. I had a question. Back to the race card. Do you really think if the shooter was black, the police would have reacted differently? What shooter? Are we talking about Kyle, or are you talking about the guy that went up and said, "Hey, shoot me, nigga," end quote, end quote? Or what are you talking about, Jasmine? I need something better. So when she answers that, Kyle. So what do you think, Hernandez, and White Claw too, and Brenda, if you're in this, what do you think if the shooter was black? If Kyle was black, what would have happened, you think?
Okay, so I think I have something.
All right.
So, just being, I mean, obviously we don't have a whole lot of these in the trainings that we do during just like during drill or whatever, when it's like react to contact, or when we do the lanes and they put like the local nationals on there and stuff like that. Each person reacts completely differently, and it's because there are a set of rules, I suppose, in terms of like engagement. But like now, I just want you to like think about this in a critical sense. So every cop will probably look at the situation differently. Some cops are actually thinking, okay, I'm out here, Black Lives Matter protests. The main people that are protesting are, black activists, and some can be radical, as we've seen in the past, and some can be very peaceful. But at the same time, who is your, like, who is your target?
All right.
Who are the people that you're going to be defending against? So when you see, that shooting go down with, I don't know if the cops saw the whole thing go down, and then so you're just reacting to what you did see. I'm gonna be honest here and probably say there was probably a higher % chance that he would have gotten shot because of some of the black activist group. What is that like? That militia that's going around
Antifa.
right now, not fucking around.
Antifa or
something
BLM?
like that.
No, it's a different black
it's not
militia.
Antifa. It's like the second coming of the Black Panthers kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like a bunch of activists have got together. They're all like trying to wear uniforms and stuff like that, and they're trying to. I think it's like the not fucking around or some shit like that. Like
what a name!
It's like an all black militia.
Yeah, what a name!
A couple of YouTubers have actually covered it, where one of them they're all flagging each other at like one point or something like that, and the leader or whatever goes on live because he had his bolt pulled back. He dropped like the rifle down, and like the rifle bolt went up, and he said that it was guns shoot people just like on an everyday basis, and a whole lot of people debunk him. But anyway, like people like that group, you're told to watch out for. Like that could potentially be a urban terrorist organization that is just marching around with rifles. And there's a few times where videos have caught people just sitting in their cars, and these activists go up to them because he's looking at them, and he's like, "Do you want me to I will fucking shoot you," kind of thing.
Whoa,
like,
that's pretty aggressive.
Like, straight pointing it at some dude in his car. And the dude's just sitting there, like in his car. Maybe he said something to him, maybe he looked at him a certain way, but whatever. Like you have a whole lot of these. It's very hard to just paint a picture black and white who has a better chance of getting shot probably right now, I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, there was probably a higher percent chance that he would have gotten shot because the color of his skin, because of what's happening right now. Now,
I would have said no.
That's just how I would view it.
Yeah.
But then again, you have a whole lot of different cops who, some are just straight up racist. Some just like, oh shoot, black guy, bang bang. Some are like not trying to do that. Some are like, honestly, it's hard to break that down after all like the media coverage and just the everyday normal play on what a cop thinks or what a cop does, yada yada. Sorry if I just went on a tangent.
No, you didn't go on a tangent. It's. I would agree with you if everything that has happened did not happen. I would think that right now they would not have shot him if he was black. You know why? Because of everything going on right now. And if you shoot a black guy right now, that's the least thing you want to do right now. That's worse than shooting, I would say, freaking a baby seal in the middle of freaking a park in front of a bunch of kids. You don't want to do that shit right now, dude. And I think because of that, because of what the media has done, I don't think they would have used deadly force on him. However, I do understand how racist it goes back to me. It's back to human intelligence. Why are you hating people because they're black? Probably get on my fucking nerves. Everybody gets on my fucking nerves. But it's just like, why are you gonna really take another man's life because you feel like because of the color of their skin? And I get it. Yeah, honestly, maybe they would have killed him if he was black, and that's fucking bullshit. That's not how it should be. The guy was defending himself. So I hope I answered that question the best that we can. So Danny Jimenez said it's been proven that the cop shootings towards black people have reduced due to tensions nowadays. That's very correct. You are absolutely, Danny Jimenez is right. It has changed a lot because of freaking what's going on. And if you look at the FBI statistics, remember, ladies and germs, if you actually look at the goddamn statistics, the people that are normally killed by cops are white people, and that's because of death by suicide. That's because of freaking opiates, and because that's white people have an opiate problem, and it needs to be freaking addressed. But no one's addressing the opiate problem with white folks. It's a serious that's the real fucking pandemic in white people. Ain't fucking COVID-19. It's opiates, depression, mental disorders. So yeah. So technically, from the FBI, back to I went on a tangent. Is that if you're white, you're more likely to be killed by a cop. We're blacks. Before all this bullshit happened, crime was coming down in major cities. Everything was getting a lot better. It's been kind of because honestly, I think people are realizing why you're going to do some dumbass shit like that. Why are you going to get into a gang? Why are you going to get into this? Why are you going to get into that? You don't want to rot away in prison forever, you know. But that's what it is. So I hope I answered that question correctly, Danny. So now we got lots of people are getting arguing with the black person when walk away is fully with a gun. I think that's what. Okay, say Izzy. My kid wants to say something, so she better say some questions so we can answer it. Yeah, please. Yeah, I can't answer these. Yeah, I need questions. So that's just how it is. I think Hernandez and I are kind of on the same page as someone White Claw. It's just a shitty situation, man. It's just sad that this country has become so divided because the media and their agenda. And I quote these words: "This election's for the soul of this country." No, it's not. It's not. This election is because a bunch of old-ass white people want to stay in power. That's all it is. There's no soul to America. There really hasn't been a soul. America hasn't stand for freaking freedom and justice and the American way since the goddamn fucking 40s. There hasn't. What's up, White Claw? Talk to me.
Look at the Supreme Court, for instance. I mean, there's no terms or anything on it. The same people are there since fucking beginning of time. Right?
Yeah, but I think, okay, everybody forgets the point of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the final say, not the final say for the law, because obviously they can actually be freaking overturned by the Senate and the House of Representatives. They can actually overturn a Supreme Court decision. However, the Supreme Court is there to narrate the Constitution. So I'm going to talk some mad fucking shit. I'm hitting out liberals right now because they're fucking Lord and Savior fucking, I can't stand that woman, Ginsburg. And this is why I don't like Ginsburg. There was a case where a woman had a pink house and the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the government to acquire this woman's property, to acquire this woman's freaking goddamn property that she worked so hard for, because it was for the greater good. I do not believe in greater good. That woman owned that property. So they acquired It's called The Pink House. Watch that movie. My favorite thing was the deterioration from freaking Supreme Court Justice O'Connor. I loved O'Connor, and I was very hurt that freaking Mrs. Civil Rights, Mrs. freaking goddamn Ruth Ginsburg ruled on this with the state. So technically, it's the property. I can't remember what the property law is. Basically, if you own property and the government sees it fit to take your property because for the greater good, like put a freeway, put a park, they're going to take your property and they legally can do it. That was ruled.
That falls under eminent domain.
Right? Eminent domain. Fucking brains on what? Everybody. Yeah, eminent domain, and that's bullshit. If I should tell you right now, this is my property. I worked really hard for this property. This is for my sister, for you, for my kids. And if anyone tries to take this property from me, I'm gonna die fucking defending it. And I swear to God, I will fucking die for it.
For instance,
I worked too hard for this shit.
This is your house. You own it. This is your property. You pay for it. If, for instance, the government decides, "Hey, I want to build a freeway right through your property."
Nope. Fuck you. You ain't building shit. No. And every American should have that attitude. That's your property. That's why. You see, now we're going down the little rabbit hole, and this is my second thing. Is people, if you want the cops to change, you need to start changing your goddamn kids. You need to change your mindset. You need to change how people interact with law enforcement and how the respect with it and what's going on. Before I go with that, there was a question about what happened to the marriage and relationship episode. It's coming tonight. We're posting it tonight, Jasmine, so it'll be there. But I'm a firm. If you're going to ask the cop to change, you need to change yourself. You need to educate your kids, your youth. What's up, White Claw?
So, for instance, with my daughter, I've done examples where I took her to the fire department, introduced her to firefighters in the gear in case something ever happens in that situation. She should know, hey, if you see a guy with a tank and mask in a house of fire. I've also done it to where my daughter will see cops and she'll want to go up to the cops and be like, "Oh, hi, officer," ask for a sticker or whatever, Like, that's how I would do it, is get my daughter familiar with them.
Yeah.
Where instead of not growing my daughter up to where, hey, see that? Hate that person. Like, just, which it does happen today, and you see it with a lot of parents telling their kids.
Yeah. I see it. I just want to avoid any confrontation with law enforcement. That's it. That's my thing is avoidance. It's like everything, all relationships, avoid. Hernandez, you got anything?
I think trying to touch on what White Claw was saying is I hate to kind of like talk about race because I kind of believe in just, the American race as a form of people. But unfortunately, a lot of ethnic groups, specifically in this case, I've seen on videos of Black fathers, mothers teaching their children that they are victims and cops are to be they're out there to kill you and yada yada, and like it's pretty interesting. I forget what the YouTube channel was, but they do this a lot. They do it a lot.
Yeah.
One of my favorite YouTubers, Abba and Preach, actually talk about it, and they're just like, "Yo, like that's not how you're supposed to, like raise your children. You should never raise your children to be, like ignorant towards these things, or teach them that you are a victim and there are these bad people out here to kill us. So now, when you need to call upon them, who are you going to call upon?" And I think that was really funny about a lot of those protests. It's like when like someone gets hit by a car or something because they're like blocking the road, they call out, "Oh, somebody call the police! Somebody call the police!"
Yeah.
Somebody call the police, and you're in the middle of like a defund the police, protest. So, I hate to say it, but it's a lot of contradiction, according to a lot of like left wing politics. It's like it's just kind of confusing on how you can keep a mindset, but then when you're in panic mode, you contradict yourself, or you go against the exact same thing that you preach, or just in general of teaching your children and upbringing them with this nasty mentality. And I'm not just saying that that's only on the left. There is a lot of that shit on the right too. I'm sure you've seen, the Don's posts and stuff on.
Oh my God, the Don's post. The Don's post give me the Don's the reason why I hate conservatives. You know, and my family's very conservative. You know, it's funny. My sister and I were arguing about remember the San Bernardino shootout? They were the Muslim couple, and she was pissed off because they wouldn't. You want to get on this, Brenner, or not? Nah, she was pissed off because I was in favor of keeping their phones private because one was American citizen, and I'm a firm believer that you can't pick and choose when you can use the Constitution. For me, it has to be consistent. And she was pissed off because they were. Well, she wasn't pissed off, but she voiced her disagreement with me because they were terrorists. So I understand that. But then my argument to that is that goes back to the Patriot Act. When the government who labels who's a terrorist, the government does. So that's what I get. But back to your question about kids, I've always believed to teach my kids that they're being raised in a hostile environment. And this is why. It's not towards cops. They're girls. I have nothing but girls. Thank God. So out of the 4 kids, maybe 5 I have out there, they're all girls. So for a female, I have come to learn, even though I'm extremely sexist, is that it's very hostile for them. I would never want to be a female, man. I've seen just and heard horror stories and been in situations where, you know, I was first responders for, you know, horrible things that happened to Marines I had, soldiers, you know, not I had any Marines that were female, but soldiers and stuff like that. And just like, it's like, damn, bro, like it's a hostile environment. And I was always a firm believer in teaching my kids that, you know, be very wary of people, be very, very, you know, never ever let your guard down and not be naive to human beings. You know, the worst thing in the planet for me is it's not a bear that's going to come out of the woods right now and eat White Claw on me while we're watering the trees. It's the person next door. It's two-legged varmint, as my sister would say. My sister would camp. My sister's camped all over San Gabriel Valley, all over San Marino Mountains. You know what my sister carried? Carried a big-ass 357 Magnum. She always carried it with her. And my sister's small. She's only like, well, how tall are you? 5 feet tall. And she always carried it because two-legged varmint. You got to be careful. So that's why I always was raised my kids. It's hostile. It's a hostile environment. For you that live in the city, how the fuck do you guys even? I'm goddamn I'm out of that motherfucker, man. You got too many people. You got people that freaking want to steal from you. The people want to rob you. People jump in your fence. People don't respect property. People don't respect your things. People that fucking park their car in front of your driveway. People that dent your shit because they don't respect property. And that goes back to personal responsibility and how Americans are raised. If people would take responsibility, that's why I don't want any. I don't want any help. I don't want any government involvement. Just people need to take responsibility. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like as a parent, I need to teach my kids that you need to live responsible and you need to you need to respect people's things, respect people, but be weary of them. And you're a female. It's because some fucking guy's giving you the googly eyes in class and wants to take you a ride in this fucking Tequachica in this, what do they call Malero? A fucking truck. Nah. Don't work that way, man. You gotta be cautious, man. I would hate to be a female, man. And you know what I mean? I may be the biggest piece of shit in the world, man, whore, fucking whatever, but I never disrespected a woman and never took advantage of a woman when they were drunk. And that's a firm belief. I will never teach. If I ever had a son, thank God I'll never have a son. But that's just why I try to teach my kids, man. It's a hostile environment. You know, people can disagree with me, man, but I'm not down with that shit. You know what I mean? Hold on. Got a question. Got a question from Martin. Does single parenthood have any cost towards this? Or what has happened to these kids? What are your thoughts on this? Okay, so single parenthood. My sister, myself, and White Claw are single parents. And do I think single parent? I think being a single parent, like being a single parent is cool and it sucks because it's like, I don't know, because I'm a man, so it's different for me. Even though I hate kids, I fucking love kids. My dream one day, and Hernandez laughs about this, is to have a big photo shoot and have like 7 girls that are all mine. And from each age, I have the youngest one on my lap and have my big tall ones behind me and have nothing but females. That's all I wanted. But being a single parent, I think, yeah, it's a lot harder because unfortunately, the society we live in, especially in California, don't even get me started with all the bills we're trying to pass in California, tax the shit out of everybody. It's different stuff, but it's still present to the subject, but it's like, it's hard being a single parent. How are you going to raise your kids when you got to make a living? How are you going to be there? You work, 12 hours a day, and then how are you going to be there? Right, Cloud, what you got?
So, going on single parenting, it also goes down to if I'm doing a certain way with my daughter.
Yep, that's
and
key.
I have her raised a certain way, like I want her to, do her letters, do her numbers, her shapes. But I only have her for so long. If when she goes back to the baby mamas, whatever happens over there, I technically, it could go out the window what I teach her. So reality is single parenting. If you have both parents in your life, but you're not together, it's more of a struggle, I say, for the kids because you're confusing the kids more eventually. If you're trying to do it one way and they're trying to do a different way.
I have something to put in on that.
Talk to me.
I can.
No, of course not. Come on.
Okay, so coming from a split parenthood, I was raised kind of flip-flop between my mom and dad until I was like of age that I could say what house I wanted to live in. I think it was like 12, 14, something like that. Both of my parents were highly uneducated just because neither of them finished school, whatever. So I really, really think it depends on the parent and how well you can work with the other parent. Like, yeah, sure, you guys don't like each other, but like, come on, cat.
Co-parenting.
Okay, co-parenting. Yeah, but
Right.
that takes a lot of intelligence, emotional intelligence, not even intelligence. It's emotional. Continue,
But
please.
if you can't pull together for your kid, and you're more focused like my parents were on, she owes me child support. I bought you that jacket, and that's
Oh
kind of
my
like
God.
what you're mainly focused on. And both of the narratives are, your mom's a piece of shit. Your dad's a piece of shit. Whatever. And it's not really about the education. See, when I was failing middle school, I had to pull my grades together because my father told me that it was okay to fail because at least you tried and stuff like that. Like that wasn't good enough for me. I wanted to achieve. I wanted to, finish. I didn't want to be held back. I didn't want to, not go on to the next grade or anything like that. So it really sucks to see that it just depends on the person. If you're willing to teach your child, all right, Gomez, let's just say you're flip-flopping your kid between you and the mom.
Yeah.
Let's just say you're trying to teach your daughter some numbers, yada yada. Well, you're well educated. You can attempt to teach, but just because you're educated doesn't mean you're a good teacher.
Exactly.
And I had to learn that. There are teachers that aren't good teachers. There are kids that just can't learn from a certain type of teacher. Fuck, dude. Like, I'm telling you, I failed geometry for years, and it wasn't until I got this one type teacher who just helped me excel in that area. And it was really good. I could pick up what he was putting down versus for years sitting in the same classroom with the same teacher, learning nothing and sitting at an average F. So
yeah.
It really just depends on your parents and how well they were ready for you. Like me, I was born, I was a fucking mistake. I was a big accident. I was a fucking you know what I mean? And they weren't ready. They had no idea. Both of them were idiots. Both of them were very selfish. My father was selfish. My mom was dumber than rocks. Like it is what it is. But they weren't ready for a kid. And sometimes it's good to be ready for that. And sometimes when, kids come, you're not going to be the best parent. You can try your best. You can try all you might. But at the end of the day, you just might not be fit. And unfortunately, you do what you can. But,
yeah.
I mean, that comes with consequences in of itself.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I agree, man. I just never understand, man. And this is why I kind of, my psyche, I can tell I'm batshit crazy. I think in a whole different level. Man, if I would have just been fucking listened and I would have been obedient, I would have been very successful. And I never want any of that. I never wanted any of that at all. And all I want to do, man, is just make enough money to be away from everybody. I just want to be left alone and be comfortable. But in regards to kids, it's just, I hate society because it just makes it so impossible for you to actually. You had sex with somebody, maybe you not like the person. You have this kid, you have this life, and you're stuck with this life, and this life becomes a burden. But you need to put everything. This is your awesome. This is it. When you die, this person's going to represent you. It's going to represent your life. This person's going to be a mirror of who you were as a person. Why don't you want to put the amount of effort to make this person great, to give this person the shit you did not have? And I'm not talking about fucking spoiling it. No. I'm talking about knowledge, teaching them how this world's a hostile place to be in, teaching them what they need to do to succeed, and to be comfortable, to be happy, not successful, happy. You know, that's what I hate about society. Everybody always asks you, "Oh, you're married? You got a job? How much are you getting paid?" No one ever says, "Hey, White Claw, you fucking happy, dog?"
I am actually.
Boom, that's it. No one ever asked that. And that's what I hate about the society. No one ever cares about that. No one ever cares that you're out there, maybe you may be poor. It makes no sense. I thought that the other day. Like, do I want to struggle, work a 9 to 5, drive all the way down the hill, go to a dead-ass job, come back up and be in the same financial situation I'm in? Or do I want to live my life and be in the same financial situation I'll be as if I work a 9 to 5?
Which, bear witness, remember when I moved up here first, I was driving out to Long Beach every day, 6 days a week, working 10 plus hours a day. And I wasn't getting nowhere with it. And I'm still you could see my body was dragging. It took its effect. But then that's when I decided, like, hey, you know what? Yeah, it makes money, but it's not making me happy. And so I just decided, hey, you know what? Complete career change and go to school.
Yeah.
So it's true. Even in my college classes today, they ask us, "Oh, tell us a little bit about yourself." Everyone in the class asks, "Oh, what do you do for work? Oh, how much do you make and stuff?" I'm saying, what's that matter?
Yeah.
What's it matter how much we make?
And so that's just in a nutshell. And I really don't want to end the podcast now because I feel like we're making, I'm open to any kind of questions or anything like that on the Danny Jimenez sense. Here we go. We need to learn to stop holding a grudge over what happened. Yes, during their relationships. Kids suffer the most. Women need to learn to go 50. Yeah. So, that again, what Danny Jimenez is saying, that's, yet again, that goes back to what we're talking about, an emotional reaction to things. When you hurt somebody, especially women, man, first of all, don't be hurting women. Honest with them, be straightforward, but people get feelings. I got feelings once, man. I got my heart broken, man. I listened to Morrissey and the Smiths all day long. And then I put a pinche one in the shower, listened to Cure, and I was crying and shit. But you have to freaking learn. You have to just learn how to deal with it. And unfortunately, yeah, people use emotions as bad. As they use it against us, and they use it because they're hurt. It's black and white, man. It's about the kid. It's about the kid you have. Take care of the kid. Well, I'm about to be off on live in 1 minute, but I'll go back on fucking Instagram because they're kicking us off. What's up? Yeah, it's the Don. Women are better in Texas. Yeah, sure. Anybody else got anything? What other subject I want to talk about? I can't remember. Yeah. I really want to talk about the election, and this is why this man will always thank you. What dude, this is just nonsense, man. All this rhetoric about the left and the right, and just, I can't believe we're down. It's 2020. I'm 37 years old, and the 38 this in November.
No.
I'm 38. Am I 40 already?
No,
I'm 39.
Wait, I thought you
Son
were
of a
38.
bitch. 82. Anyways, I don't keep tracks of birth dates, but I just hate all the hate and all the violence I see right now. It's really sad, man. It really is, dude. I don't know how to process all this stuff. Fucking Hernandez. What do you think, brother? Is he there? Did we kill Hernandez? Mario, are you dead?
Oh, my bad. My mic was muted.
Why was it muted? What are you doing? What are you doing, Mario? Are you cheating on me? Who's that bitch?
No, this is cat with this fucking belt collar. Okay. Sorry, I was a little bit busy chasing.
Oh, Fort Hood. Oh, let's talk about Fort Hood. Liz, okay, it's dying in 5 seconds. I'm going back to freaking Facebook Live. All right. So she wants to talk about Fort Hood. So what do you got? What do you gentlemen think about it?
Aren't we up to like 8 people found dead on Fort Hood already? I believe it's 8 right now. That's what I last saw was like it was 8 people, I believe, at Fort Hood now found dead.
Okay, before that, I had a question. Before everybody's at the Fort Hood thing. I know you hate both parties, but who do you pick for the next 4 years? I picked the Libertarian candidate for president because I am not about Trump nor freaking Biden because they're garbage. But I picked Joe. She's not Joe Biden, but homegirl Joe. George Jorgensen or whatever her name is. I can't say her name because I'm bad at English, but she's the shit. I read it. She wants to get rid of the ATF. I'm not a Trump fan because all Trump's done is divide this country and has not spread any kind of to bring it together. And I quote these words from freaking good old his essay he wrote. You love General Mattis, and the essay he wrote that Trump, he hasn't done anything to unify the people. It's just been about conservativeness and conservative all this and that, and it's just not what I want. So let's go back to the freaking the question I was asked by my friend Liz about freaking good old freaking Fort Hood. I don't even know, man. The Army's so disorganized, and it just. Who was my favorite president was Kennedy, but I don't know what the Army's doing, man. I don't even know how to answer that. Liz asked a good fucking question. You guys need Jesus over there. I'm not really big. I am big in religion, but the way I look at God is different from you guys. To me, God honestly is a 16-year-old virgin living in his mom's basement in a computer program, which we were in, which is simulation theory. But that's just me, though. Anyways, so back to the story about just good old Fort Hood. I don't even know how to answer that, man. Fort Hood is just.
I mean, we're up to, I believe, 8, right? 8 people right now that have been found. I believe 8 is the most recent number.
I don't even know how to dissect that. Just Liz, goddamn, girl, you got me stumped because I can't.
I don't have facts with this one. Really.
I have to really look into it. Okay, the Vanessa thing. This is my thing with it. I fought my child's what do you call it? My child's godmother about this is because I think that the command failed was because they had a person of question in their grasp and they did not hold him, and he commits suicide over it. And he actually probably had a lot of information who depth. He murdered the goddamn girl, and it sucks that he did that. But I think the only fault of the command was that because they did an IG complaint. They did also a freaking CID. And if you're in the military, you know how CID works. And CID is just, it came down real hard. And they found that the sexual assault and allegations were not there were no evidence to prove it. So my thing is, I hate how the media always holds this shit and always thinks that it needs to be a certain way and it needs to be this, and they're sending misinformation. When I'm a firm believer, no matter if you get caught red-handed in what you did, you need to be tried. And once you're tried, then we'll fucking burn you at stake. And that's the problem with the media. They were blaming Fort Hood. The Army's the government. Army is so disorganized. Shit, put it this way. I couldn't even get a goddamn drill going for this weekend because the Army sent us a email at 6 p.m. on a fucking Friday approving my fucking in-person drill because of COVID-19. Fuck you. I'm not making my troops come in for some dumbass drill that we can do virtual fucking reality, virtual fucking virtual basic battle assembly.
Yeah, VBAs
fucking stupid, man. So I hate to tell you, Liz, I'm very ignorant in the subject. I think it's bullshit. I think that fucking Fort Hood needs to, the whole Army. Remember, sexual assault is up 3% in the armed forces, and the main branch of service that has the highest reported sexual assault is the Air Force. So there's something going on there, and that goes back to my point of parents teaching men not to respect these women. They need to. This goes back to just that's what I hate about the service. We bring these kids in, and you want us to raise your kids. Fuck you. You should have raised your kids. The Army and the Marine Corps are not going to put freaking core values, as they call it, into your child. If your child's a piece of shit, your child will continue being a piece of shit. It's up to you as a parent to take the fucking time and put the time and effort into your kid and teach them what's right and wrong. Hernandez, you got anything?
Experienced anything like that? Just my time in service so far. So honestly, I think you know a lot more about that subject than I do.
Yeah, well, Liz asked me too about the sexual assault, deaths, and murders. When I was in freaking good old camp in Quantico, there was these 2 Marines, man. Long story short, one Marine decided to get rid of his wife, killed the wife. The other Marine helped. They buried her remains in an impact area in Quantico. Never found it. 6 months, 7 months goes by. Finally, they fucking throw a rat. The friend, let's pretend I'm the guy that killed the wife. That's the friend. He freaking told the CID what happened. They went out there and they found what was left of her remains because they was getting impacted by the house that's at Quantico. And yeah, it happens all the time. But yeah, I remember everybody was wilding out. It goes back to my point that people raise these kids. They join the service and they're rotten apples. They have all this just rotten fucking shit behind them, and they bring it to service. And then again, you expect the government to take care of. That's the problem in this country. The government's not going to take care of anything. They're not going to take care of your kid. They're not going to raise your kid. It's up to the individual to raise their kid. The individual put fucking values. The individual to freaking say what's right and wrong. Not the government. Not your chain of command. You know, what am I doing? Breastfeed the fucking kid? Take him in my arm? Like, hey, it's okay. No, it's the parents. And unfortunately, you get assholes like that.
It goes to my old unit back in Camp Pendleton. We had this Marine. He went on leave, took 2 weeks off, whatever, went back home to Chicago, did his thing, whatever, comes back. A month goes by. It turns out he becomes under investigation. Why? He went back and literally committed a murder with his so-called gang that he was rolling with at the time. But he literally thought he could get away with it because, you know, it's in Chicago. Oh, hey, they're not going to pull this up. But again, someone in his gang threw a rat, and it was just a big-ass fucking shitstorm that came down. So, I mean, it goes back to what Gomez is saying. You know,
this thing's a piece of shit. Yeah.
You can polish a turd, but that's all you're going to do with it. And still.
All right. Now I got a guess to see if he's willing to join right now. I got a friend of mine, Rodriguez. We're different, a little bit different, man, but he's got some good stuff. Let's see. It didn't work. Oh, are you there?
Oh, yeah, what's up, brother?
All right. So now I'm dragging you into this because I got Rodriguez is joined for me. He's a fellow Cal State LA alumni as myself. Very handsome guy, single man, father. Yeah, he's pretty. I'm not no homo, but he's cute. But he's a good guy. So we're in topic right now. So we're going live right now. We're live streaming. We got the freaking thing. Anyways, so
as long as you don't dream about me at night, we're all good.
I always dream about you at night. Thank you. So my question for you, I got a good friend named Liz. Now, Liz was asking about what you're taking the Fort Hood thing. It's very difficult for any of us. I don't know what to say. It's the Army. It's garbage. It's the chain. You think the chain of command's going to do it? No, they're not.
And you kind of got to go into this with facts. Like, you can't just go into it not knowing all the details either.
Look, there's for me, there's the I try to look at it on both sides of the fence, and it's really hard because it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, right? You're going to this thing for 3 months and you're trained to be a certain way, right? And you have to have this tough skin and this thick skin and this strong mental attitude, because what's the purpose of every military force?
Wage war.
Right? Okay. So you have to give this kind of mindset to be in there to be able to survive when the situation comes. Hey, Bob, you know what? We're not mentally prepared for this yet. Give us about 3 months and then we'll come back and let's go ahead and pick the fight then. Is that okay? That's not the way it works. It happens at a moment's notice, and you have to be able to react and be able to have that mentality to go into it right away.
Yeah, but not everybody has that mentality.
Hold on. I get that, but this is where I'm going to get to my point of what's going on with the mental mind here.
No, sorry about that.
I have and let me give you a situation that's kind of different. I have a guy that was EOD, right? Explosive ordnance disorder. I forgot what the D stood for, but
disposal.
This guy had so many different things that he experienced, bro. And I mean, the last time I saw him, he was like messed up in the head. And I mean, to the point where I recognized it. And I was like, bro, you need to go get help. I was like, you need to go get help. And he was a gunny with like 19 years in. And he knew he needed help, but he couldn't. He couldn't do it. Why? Because the stigma is that you're going to be weak, you're not going to be mentally ready, and then your retirement goes away. 19 years invested and you're out. So my point of all this is that there is a systematic problem with the way that we are training and making people perceive weakness, mental weakness, right?
All right.
And so what happens is they feel like, okay, no, I can't be seen as weak. I got to make this appearance. I got to come up. I got to be this person. I got to be that person. And then what happens is these people, like the one girl, I forget her name. I'm sorry off the top of my head, but she was dealing with certain things, and she didn't feel like, opening up about it. She didn't have anyone to talk to. So her command failed her in not giving her
Yes. Oh.
recreational activities for her to have like some sort of outlet, right?
Yeah.
So I think that part is wrong. The other part that is wrong is like, you have a good point, right? 3 months of training for some services, it's less than 3 months of training, is not going to change a person's personality. It's not going to change their character. It's not going to change years and years of maybe, a racist grandfather or a racist grandfather or a sexist grandfather or somebody embedding like stupid thoughts into their head, whether they're direct or indirect, right? Because sometimes as children, as we're growing up, we know this from our studies, we don't necessarily have to be told things directly. We emulate what we see.
Yeah, that's a human being. Yeah, that's monkey see, monkey do.
Exactly. So that's where the biggest issue is that the military can do a hell of a lot more, in the sense that they have to be able to they got to figure out a way to get rid of this stigma that says that, mental, weakness is like, you can't be military, you can't be this, and you can't be that. At the same time, though, there does have to be a breaking point where you have to be able to just say, and mothers and everybody of America that thinks that it's unjustified to not let certain people in because of this and kick them out is wrong. No, if you're not mentally able to like deal with certain things, then you can't be in the military. Because like I said, when it comes down to that moment's notice that you have to react, we can't have, to a certain extent, somebody that like isn't ready or can't handle that kind of like chaos. To I guess would be the right word to say. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So I get where the mentality, the mental preparedness is, and making them mentally tough and having them be this like almost robot to a certain extent. But it's the reason why all these issues are happening, and there's so much like wrong going in there. I personally think they could start by making the physical training be whatever it is, but then give them, even if it's a year long of like just, or maybe 6 months of like ethical classes, and just embed like certain things in education into their head. Even if just focus on that, give them tests, give them, scenarios that they have to pass and they have to go through, and give them like real life situations on what can happen and what can do this. Observe them and see if they have the mental capacity to be, and the moral capacity to do the right things all the time. And then you bring them into the military force.
Yeah.
Not just throw them in there because they can fight.
Yeah, the fact that we have to do that's what I hate. It's like, dude, raise your fucking kids. But you're right. It just, oh my God, what have we become? It's so,
But hey, Anthony, sometimes it's not even that, bro. Like, let's be real. When you were 18, 19, were you everything that your dad taught you, or were you everything that your friends embedded in you?
Yeah, oh, dude.
Because
honestly, okay, little background. I love women, but I was always scared of women. I was 18 when I lost my virginity. But when I was in the service, when I joined, dude, no, bro. I did everything wrong. I was that fucking Lance Corporal, like, hey, don't be Lance Corporal Gomez because he got married to some hoe back he met. What else, Brenda? Crashed his car, got a DUI, went to TJ. Yeah, fought a hooker. Like, yeah, that was me, man. So, yeah, you're right. You're and I was raised by some pretty strict, cold-blooded people. So
You were one. Wait, you were one of those that felt that the bigger the woman, the better the plates.
oh, bro, I used to go hog hunting, bro. I'd wear my hat. Hey, 300 pounds and above, son. Hey, puro pinche cornflakes. Yeah. But anyways,
not the cornbread, I'm sure.
Yeah, cornbread. But damn, dude. Yeah, you're right. But here, now let me play devil's advocate. I'm gonna ruffle some veteran feathers right now. Check it out. I'm a firm believer that, hey, maybe if our country didn't get us in all these stupid fucking wars, we wouldn't have to worry about this shit. Anybody?
You have a point. But name the last superpower country that hasn't had to deal with some sort of conflict.
Well, technically, we are the only superpower, but I don't really buy that. You're right. See, this goes back to shit. We weren't even around. Our parents were probably around, but it goes back to.
If we were Costa Rica, a small little country that's located like in the middle of everything, doesn't have anything going on, doesn't have anything to offer, nobody would care about us. Nobody would care about us. But we're dead smack in the central, like literally the center of the world. Our fucking economy is one of the strongest ones in the world. We're going to deal with all kinds of shit. And we have to have like some sort of force and readiness. There's just no way around it. We have to have it. You know? Yeah. I'm not saying, I get what you're saying. There's a lot of bullshit that we get involved in that we shouldn't. But the reality of it is, like, bro, there's come on, man. You and I have especially you being a first round, you've been in briefings where you've heard about shit intelligence find that you're just like, man, I'm glad we got a fucking force and readiness because if some shit went down, like at least we're prepared. You and I have been through enough briefings to know that we don't see half of the shit that we read about in those intel briefings.
Yes. See, that's where I get torn. And you're right. Bro, maybe a human real quick. Imagine, bro, the war that you and I have fought, it's still going on. How old's your son now? He's almost 18, right?
He's going to be 19 next month.
Jesus, he's been around as long as the war in Afghanistan has been around. My kids, I
still remember when we got the 9/11 call. One of the biggest stresses that I had was whether or not I was going to ship out because my family I was about to have a child, and I was like, I can't fucking leave right now. You know, my wife at the time was 1 month from about to have a child. Like I couldn't leave at that time. So I mean, I get what you're saying, bro. But I know. I know America has to play world police because of after World War II. If you look at World War II. World War II made America a superpower. Every country was fucking torn apart, but America. Every country, you know who? Honestly, I fucking hate Russians because they're fucking sneaky, but I respect them because if it wasn't for the fucking all the Soviets dying, we would have never won World War II. And honestly, the people that won World War II was the Soviet Union. When you expire 23 million of your own people to defeat tyranny, I respect the shit out of that, and they did that. They were the brunts of the force that took on the Nazi fucking regime, and America came on top. And because of that, America had. That's what you're right. They had to play the role. What do we do? We become isolationistic. I want isolation so bad, but I know it can't happen. But I have hope that it will happen one day. But I know it can't because America has to play the role of a world power and has to flex its might out there to stay on top of the chain. It's a reality. I get mad about the wars in El Salvador, the wars, Yemen. Good old Obama starving 200,000 Yemen to death.
So I have a good question for you.
White Claw.
Good question for you then. I know you're all about isolationism, right? But can you tell me exactly, because a lot of people may not know, what is America's actual foreign policy? Because it always changes depending on the demand that America needs.
Yeah.
Look out through history. I mean, we tried isolationism. Then, with the whole Latin America, every time, there's a different foreign policy that's always changing depending on who's president.
But that's also that there's look, there's too many moving parts in that. I mean, look at just within our own country, and this is within ourselves. We have things that always need to be evaluated and changed. You're talking about dealing with different countries and different regimes, democracies, whatever it is. They have their own needs, and we have to convert. We sometimes just have to adjust, bro. It's like one of those things, like where if you want to have a relationship, and your wife wakes up one day, and all of a sudden she wants to be
whoa, wife. No, wife. No, he's right though. No, Rodriguez is right. Yeah.
In any relationship, change is inevitable, and you have to be able to adjust with that change, or else you're going to wind up a single guy like me with 3 exes.
Hey, I got 3 too, bro. So what's up? Okay, hold on. I see what you're saying, Rodriguez, and he's right. Honestly, unfortunately, I hate to say it because I have a big dream that we just need to be isolationists again because this country's proven when you stir up America, when the people are united, we can do anything. Look at World War II. We had the 14th largest army. We had people that didn't want involvement whatsoever. But when the Jats bombed Pearl Harbor, we invented how do you go between a plutonium or neutron A bomb that quick? No country can ever do that.
We will never, ever be able to get back there.
I want to go back there.
Of unity again.
I want to go back there because
that level of unity will never happen because we are too woke. We are too conspiracy theorists. We are too, everybody has their own agenda, and because of the platforms that we have, you're gonna be able to influence different groups and different. Dude, on my block alone, bro, it's fucking hilarious how many different people are on my block that you could just see certain things, right? You got the Trump supporters, you got the Black Lives Matter people, you got the people that are like, goes out and wants to help the kids in the cages, that has their agenda. And so even within my block, and it's because you get all these influences from different areas. Now, I'm not trying to tell you that either one is right or wrong. Please don't take it in that way. Whatever your opinion is, it's your opinion.
And
you got whatever level of justification you have, I respect it.
Okay, I do agree with you on that because I do agree with you on that because back in World War II, it was a lot more united at the time. Nowadays, I see what you're saying. We can never get to that point because everyone's, this and that, you're black, you're Mexican,
it's the divide because of media.
And media and yellow journalism is a big part of it today because they're going to...
Everything's yellow journalism. I can't believe shit that comes out of anybody's mouth anymore.
You could take a narrative, for instance, let's say, for example, I have a gun pointed at your head, right? What's the media going to do? They're just going to show, oh, hey, or vice versa. You turn on me, you put a gun at me, I'm white, They're going to look at it,
I would never point a gun at Anthony's head because that motherfucker's a few screws, loose.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a big fucking head. And
that guy's what I love to say is a few fries short of a Happy Meal.
Yes. But, I lost my Happy Meal. But, gentlemen, hold on. I want to hear something from my boo, Hernandez. Got anything for this? I want to hear the beautiful voice of Hernandez. Anything? He's back.
I personally don't have anything. I thought it was very entertaining listening to you guys go back and forth.
Yeah, because Rodriguez,
each of your point of views.
Yeah, Rodriguez is. I think he's more practical than I am. I really just. I just want. It breaks my heart seeing all of us come back from the VA, seeing all of us just being used for this war machine, seeing all of us being used because war makes money, and it has been. It's exactly what Ike warned us, and this for well. If every American should watch Ike's farewell speech. You hear what he has to say, and he's right. President Eisenhower called it, and that's what we're living in now. And I just hate the fact that it's about war. It's like, dude, why are we doing this? Why are we over here? Why are we over there? Why are we? And Rodriguez is right. It's because if you peel it back, you get the emotional aspect out of it. It's because of U.S. interests. It's because it has to be done. Why is America in Africa? Because if we're not in Africa, China will be in Africa. Why is America freaking with NATO? Because if it wasn't for NATO, it's a freaking it's a guard and a deterrent for freaking Russia, for the Soviet Union. That's all it is. And why are we in Iraq? Why are we in Afghanistan? because fucking Iran's in the middle of it. And if we ever went to war with Iran, we hit them from two fronts. So I understand the method behind it, but I just don't I don't accept it.
It's funny because every time something you have these people that talk about 9/11 and they talk about how Saudi Arabia assisted and why we keep them as allies. And I was like, have you ever fucking looked at a map and looked at where they're located?
Yep.
And I always felt like they're in a fucking prime location. Like that's like real estate, bro. That you have no idea. I mean, it's tactical. Sometimes, unfortunately, things are tactics. They're done for tactical reasons. And unfortunately, I think if nobody's ever been in a war or ever done the MCIs, remember the sergeant MCIs that we had to do? Yeah. Like if they've never read or seen any of that stuff, they don't understand that some things are just tactful, and you just have to you have to unfortunately just bite your tongue and say, okay, I get why we're doing this, right?
Yeah. All right.
It's like if you don't like cholos and your neighbor's like one of the head guys, you're gonna be his best friend.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to deal with if you got them in your back pocket, then no one's gonna fuck with you.
All right, you're right. Now I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna go fucking off the deep end. I would like to talk about Q. So Q.
Oh, okay.
Q.
Okay, so there's this thing going on the internet on YouTube. It's called Q. So they're talking about it's about Trump basically being not the Messiah, but a mouthpiece for the Messiah to save America from freaking because Martin put a pretty good thing about Hollywood, the media, fake news on the internet, half truths about how the left has completely controlled all these avenues of information. So Q is this thing. What's that lady's name? Anybody know? Bernie, know her name? The YouTube channel. It basically talks about Hollywood, the Pizzagate, and all these pedophiles and everything. And yeah, liberals get all mad because you're attacking this. You see, this is what I hate of this country. It goes back to teams. You're attacking their team and everything. So Q basically says that all of Hollywood, all of them are freaking pedophiles. They eat children. They're the worst thing ever. You never seen Q, Rodriguez?
I've heard about it. I've seen part of it. I think I really saw a bulk of it in that our mutual friend Leon had me watch that fall.
Yeah, Leon did, yeah. Sex offender.
Yeah, he had me watch that. That was the first time I really paid notice to that. He had me watch it. And look, I'm not. Listen, I'm not gonna say I'm a wild right or wild left. But the one thing I do, I listen to everyone.
Yeah.
The one thing about me is I listen to everyone, and I think in everything there are certain things that you can take away from it that you just have to think about, right? And you have to wonder, and you have to just investigate it and explore it, right? And until something's really done, it's really just hearsay, but you have to at least raise your eyebrows to it, right? Whenever people talk about 9/11 being a something that was plotted and planned, and they got pictures of the explosion site, and there's a bunch of cars that have never been touched, and there's they got images where certain things are messed up on one side but not the other, and you're like, but wait, the explosion was on the other side, and then you're just kind of you have to wonder it. For me, whenever I listen to stories like that, I always say, look, by now, somebody's conscience would have came out and said something. I just don't see how so many American lives were passed, and somebody that wasn't in that decision, if it was true, wasn't on their deathbed someday and said, before I die, I want to have a clear conscience. 9/11 was plotted, and you can find all the information here, right? Somewhere, somehow. So until I see that, I don't believe it, right? I don't see it. I just cannot believe it, right? But there's a lot of things in there that in their arguments that you can just raise your eyebrow about and say, you know what? You question it. You question it someday. And I think Q is the same way. They make a lot of points. There's a lot of things that they kind of link together that you kind of raise your eyebrow and say, wow, you never thought of it that way, right?
Yeah.
and there have, to their credit, there have been some celebrities that have come out and talked about it, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Until I see some really hard evidence, and I see one of them get arrested.
Yeah.
My
ass get arrested.
It's just hard for me to believe that everybody in government is corrupt and in on this. Like everybody's like a child like trafficker and this and that. Like it would just kill me. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just look at you and I look at me in general. We might have our own agendas, but I think the one thing that you and I can agree on is that if we see some shit like that, we're going to call them out on it.
Fuck yeah.
Or
Fuck that shit.
At least beat the living fuck out of them ourselves so that, it doesn't happen again. But, it's just hard for me to believe that so many people in government are just turning their cheeks and saying, oh, yeah, we're not going to, we're not going to see this.
Fit the
but
government.
At the same time, like, a lot of times you got to look at the things that they're saying and just raise your eyebrow to it and say, wow, like, I never thought about it or looked at it that way, but, okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hernandez, what do you think about that Q stuff?
It was actually my first time hearing about it.
Really? Yeah, my sister showed it to me, and I watched it, and
kind of more or less, I feel it raises a lot of questions that people never really thought of before. And it goes back to, like, everyone's talking about this Hollywood and the pedophiles and the blood of children and all this stuff. But if I remember correctly, years ago, I remember Mel Gibson made this big-ass, or not big-ass speech, but he made this little speech or whatever. And he was calling out a lot of, not names per se, but how Hollywood is built on the blood of children and stuff like that. And at that point, that's when he got blacklisted from Hollywood for so many years. That's why he had a long gap between movies, because no one was going to take him in at that time. But again, it's just one of those things I feel it raises questions, but there's not enough answers still there. Or is there actually a lot of truth behind it?
Exactly what I just said. Raises your eyebrows, but until you see something hard, it's really hard to just like
actual evidence or actual answers in there.
You got fuck that shit. I fucking hate Hollywood, and the whole Epstein. Man.
Okay, who don't you hate?
I don't hate Rodriguez. I don't hate Brenda. I don't hate my dog.
It's hard to hate a lovable guy like me. I get that, but I'm saying like in general, like institution-wise, what don't you hate? You hate school, you hate the military, you hate cops, you hate city, you hate like. Is there any institution you don't hate?
Before I get crucified, I don't hate Gaddafi. I think Gaddafi was a very good point of some man's freedom fighter, some man's terrorist. I don't hate the American Revolution. I don't hate Kennedy. I don't hate science. I don't hate the institution of JPL, NASA. I don't hate Mopar. I don't hate constitutional rights for all Americans. I don't hate. What else I don't hate? That's about basically it. But I just I don't hate. I don't say I hate the military. I just wish that the military is awesome, man. I just really wish they use this for real good, not just because they need to make some money.
I think to a certain extent, there's also has to be some self-responsibility there, right? Like I think a lot of us. I know for me, for instance, the Toys for Tots program for the Marine Corps.
Awesome.
Whether or not they had their own agenda, it's something that I always volunteered and got involved with because it was something to help, right? If I ever had a chance to I remember one time I went to a friend's school, and because I guess he had this kid that he was working with, and he loved military, and so he asked me to go in my uniform to just go talk to the kid and stuff. Yeah, I mean, like I didn't get asked to do that. I didn't get told to do that. This is things that you just do on your own. Some self-accountability. Just get back to your city, get back to your town. There's a lot of us out there that a lot of success stories that I hear. I know a lot of people that they make something of themselves and they get back to their towns. They build job skills. Seminars for troubled youth, or they have like tutoring. They do tutoring. They're involved with the Big Brothers programs. I mean. You don't need an institution to tell you to do right from wrong. You can do that shit on your own. You know?
See, that goes back to just raising your kids right and everything. But yeah, you're right.
And to add on to that note, Rodriguez, is when growing up for me, I grew up very white trash poor. Dad in jail, mom's a heroin addict. My grandma raised me my whole life. When I joined the Marine Corps and got back after my first deployment, I came home to visit after Wounded Warrior Battalion, doing my rehabilitation and stuff. Came back to relax. But I graduated from a continuation high school. And the principal asked me to come in and talk to some of the troubled students. And she's like, do you mind coming in and talking about your experiences and stuff? And I was like, you know what? Why not? Like, come in, growing from a small town or whatever.
Fuck yeah.
But I did go in, talk to them. You know, they asked me questions. And it's just one of those things that, like, you know, maybe I hit someone's and they're like, oh, you know, maybe I can do something different with my life instead of just staying in a small-ass podunk town their whole life and maybe get out and see the world. Not that I'm against small towns. Grew up, loved it. But it's one of those things that goes back to you, you know? It's not about – sometimes it's just good to get out there and maybe speak about something.
I think the unfortunate part of the society that we live in is we have this, like, unrealistic expectation, right? And I think we have to, you know, when I used to work in sales, it was always set these goals but have realistic expectations, right?
All right.
And for me, it's like if I go into a classroom of 30, I need to go in there knowing that I'm not going to influence all 30 students, but if I can influence 2 or 3, that's good enough for me. That's 2 or 3 people that I have changed their life, right? Like, we need to realize that, hey, dude, you're not going to change the world overnight, and you're definitely not going to change it, like, you know. And then I want to say something. I don't want to offend anybody, but
fucking say it. Fuck that shit. Say it.
I'm just saying you can't force change. So you can't, you know, all this writing and shit that we see on TV, like, you're not going to. Honestly, like, it just shines people off. I think the intent is incredible. I think the movement is great, but some of the things you see and when you see people that you respect and you say, hey, you know what, I want to back you up, but then you see them praising that kind of stuff, I can't get behind that.
Yeah, I can't either.
I can't.
Fuck that. Can't get behind it. We all agree. Hernandez, you agree?
To an extent, yes. I know when it comes to introducing something new,
fuck change.
Obviously, you have to take several small steps.
Fuck that.
I'll touch on something like it's probably not. I guess it's on the same level of what you guys are talking about. So I'm just gonna break it in really quick. Like when there was that big uproar, I think it was about like 2016 when the SJW movement really started pushing. When, like, you're talking about LGBTQA alphabet people, right? And you start to talk about introducing. You need to talk about my pronouns, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, you have to use my pronouns.
Nope, I don't.
But it people probably wouldn't be too against it if it wasn't the way that it was introduced. People would probably be a little bit more accepting of it if it wasn't so hardly pushed on, like, the mainstream media to where, like, all right, guys, if you don't listen to this is the new norm. You know, we're tired of standing back and this and that. Like, they were this oppressed people as if it wasn't just this entity that came out of nowhere. That wasn't born on, like, Tumblr or Twitter or, like, you know, fanfics of Harry Potter or some stupid shit. I believe that if it was handled completely different, that people would come around to something like that. Obviously, you know, look at how, like, segregation and things like that were handled. How long it took for, you know, America to get over, like, mainstream racism, if you can even. I don't know if that's.
Did it ever really get over it? Continue.
Well, I mean, like, when we're talking, like, segregation, things like that.
We're talking about John Crow's laws.
Jim Crow?
Jim Crow, written by Democrats. Go ahead.
I just think that it would be a lot easier to accept change if it was in small pieces. And obviously it goes over time. But when you look at the crazy, harsh things that they tried to rush, like, for instance, we're talking about, like, acceptance of, you know, LGBTQ people where, you don't know that person's gender, and you're talking about genderless babies or removing their genitals at birth. And, yeah, I'm talking about, like, some crazy shit that they were doing and trying to pass. And I'm giving my kid estrogen pills at such a young age, or like doses of estrogen, or I don't really know how you would get a newborn to swallow that shit. But anyway, that's what I think is that shit was handled way too difficult for, I don't know, anywhere in the world that would be that accepting, other than probably like Germany or something.
Hey, leave Deutschland alone.
Like when you look at like Black Pride parades or something like that, like it's a lot more tame and it's understandable. You ever seen a fucking gay pride parade?
It scared me.
That shit is crazy. Like,
yeah, I'm a freak. I have intercourse with goats and women same time.
There was literally a dude on the stilts covered in dildos.
Yeah, I did, and it scared the shit out of me.
Like I just feel that change should be handled in a small thing that takes time. It does take time. You can't change a norm like overnight,
and not shut down.
Especially not to like the masses.
So here, hold on. Let me ask you. I get your point, and it's right around. Here's where I see the problem with what you're saying, though, and why I kind of see where the turmoil and all these emotions come from is, what is the accountability to make sure that change keeps progressing? Because I get what you're saying, but if there's no accountability to make sure that the change is repetitive, then we wind up being at a standstill, and the movement only goes so far. And so there has to be some sort of accountability to get the movement to continue. Because if not, it's going to stop. Because all these thoughts that we have are generational, right? They took based on what you learned in the Marine Corps for 3 months or 4 years. You learned by what you did from age 5 to whatever it is that you are today. Right? And so like these certain changes, which whether we agree with them or not, it's just a matter of simple respect. And you have to have respect, right? Like a certain level of respect there. It's like there also has to be some sort of accountability to make sure that movement and that change goes forward. I agree that it going to the extreme and forcing everybody the way it was probably laid out and maybe explained was a little bit overboard, or to some. Maybe overboard is a word, but it just seemed too like, oh my God, you want me to learn 40 years of my life overnight, you want me to change it, and now you're telling me it's going to affect my career if I don't. It's scary.
Right.
It's scary.
No, yeah.
But at the same time, where is the accountability to make sure that you're at least trying? Because if not, you ignore it.
Again, I think that all comes down to respect. Sorry to cut you off.
What I'm saying is if there is no accountability, then you wind up going back to this age-old excuse, right? Well, this is the way I was raised, and so you got to accept this too. Right?
Oh, yeah, but okay, first of all, Gomez, not feeling it, not a supporter, not feeling it at all. I'm telling you straight up, even though they're Americans, I believe, even though I have no idea why anyone wants to get married, I believe in same-sex marriage, I believe in all that because they're Americans. It'd be hypocritical for me to contradict any Americans' freaking rights because of their sexual orientation or their belief. But I'm a firm believer. Male, female, that's it. And I'm a firm believer because of my stepfather that because you want to be a different gender, that's a mental illness and it needs to be addressed as such because of the high risk of suicide in that certain group. I don't get down with it. I'm never going to get down with it. It's not because of how I was raised. I was raised in a very conservative but very open. My mom, I never tell my mom this because I always hate on my mom just to be a dick, but I give my mom so much respect. A woman taught me and treated me with the most up respect and made me very open-minded. But I'm not down with it. I can't get jiggy with it. I'm not going to get jiggy with it. That's just me. So I see what you're saying, Rodriguez, but people like me, I ain't down with the LGTB, Jujubee, chingas tu madre, and down with it. Not down with it. Never going to be down with it. And that's just how I am. But I'm never, ever going to tramp on somebody's rights because I don't agree with it. You know what I mean? That's hypocritical. And I will always fight for those people so they have their rights as an American. However, let me retort. I think it's a mental disorder. And I think it needs to be, I think as a society, we're doing very unjust to take care of those people.
Let me ask you this question,
Please.
and it's probably going up to the right, and it's probably not going up.
Ask me.
How would you feel if, like, I don't know, let's say you weren't born here, right? And you came here legally and you got your paperwork and now you're a citizen and you want to be referred to that. You worked hard to get there. You want to be referred to citizen, but people just don't want to do that. They want to keep calling you an immigrant or somebody, a non-citizen. They want to just continue to label you as that because that's just the way they are. They don't feel that. You might not have been born here, but now you're a citizen. You want to be called a citizen, but somebody might just feel like, oh no, there's only two ways. You were either born here or you weren't. And so now you're not a citizen in their eyes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not necessarily about, I get your beliefs and I get all this because look, I'm with you. I totally with you. It doesn't mean that I won't respect it because at the end of the day, I don't know how that person's affected, how they were raised. I don't know their background. And for me, it's not a big freaking deal, bro. You want me to call you, whatever it is that you want me to call you, like I will do my best to get there, but I'm going to warn you right now, if you're expecting 43 years of my life to change overnight, it's not going to be 100% spot on. To work with me, I'll work with you. That's it. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
But I do believe in respecting everyone. Regardless of what, I'm not telling you you're going to change my belief. You're not going to change my belief, bro. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. But I will respect whatever it is that you want out of respect for you as an individual, as a person, to whatever it is that you want. And whatever it is that you worked hard to get, whether it's that you've been part of the fight to move all these rights or move all these classifications in your direction, you've worked hard for that. And if you want that respect, I'll give it to you, whether I believe it or not. Right. And I think that's where the biggest problem comes in is like, people talk about like, oh, I can't. It's not a matter of like what you believe. It's a matter of like, can you have that respect?
Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. I can get with it, but however, I'm Gomez, and I'll be brutally honest. I go off science and biology, and I'm not gonna fucking change my opinion. I'm not. I'll respect that person. I won't call him a faggot or anything like that or anything weird like that. I'm not gonna do that because it's not cool. Not cool at all. I know Hernandez like, oh, he said it, but it's not cool. I'm not going to do that because it's not. No, it's not right.
Because you're unfiltered. You should really change the name of your podcast to just Unfiltered.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not right. I'm not going to. Yeah, it's not right. Like I said, they're Americans too. They went through trials and tribulations. They went through hell. If anybody thinks that you go around beating up these people because of their sexual orientation, you're fucking wrong. I'm not saying I hate them. I'm not saying like that. I just don't understand. Not understand. I just don't believe in it, and I don't want any part of it. That's as simple as just me saying I don't want any part of society. I don't want any part of this. And I respect the fact that they went through that. And if I were ever an elected official, I would totally fight for them, man, because they deserve it. They're Americans. Just because they prefer bananas over peaches like I do doesn't mean they're fucking less than American. You know what I mean? White Claw has something to say. Go, White Claw.
All right, so going on this, because, but I get what you're saying. Those people, they have rights, whatever, as Americans. But what I don't agree with is the people that do it and try to shove it down other people's throats. Like, if that's what you do, so be it. Makes you happy, whatever. But don't be trying to, like, shove it down someone's throat the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, this is accept it. People are not everyone's going to accept it. Some people will, some people won't. But you can't just go around and it's like with religion too. People like to just take it and just try to shove it down your throat. You're not gonna do that to someone. You're not gonna force someone to change.
I think everything comes down to how you respond and how you react. Right? It's a difference. If somebody comes at me, even if they come at me and trying to force it down my throat, I think if I turn around and say, "Hey, look, dude, I respect that. I'm gonna try, but I'm not gonna make it perfect." I get a different response out of them than me turning around and saying, "Listen, bro, there's only two: science, biology, one or the other. Take it or leave it." Type of scenario.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get a different reaction.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
At some point, one of you has to be the more mature adult. I try to be the one to do that, even though sometimes I'm the biggest asshole in the world.
Yeah, but
I try to be that person.
Yeah, but you should never be converted. I'm not going to convert because some guy that's either gay or transgender or whatever you want to call it comes at me and talks to me. I'm not going to be like, "Hey, dog, you freaking know." Dude, you should never be hostile. Those are beliefs that I hold on myself. Like, there's certain beliefs that I hold to myself. I never sit talk to people about it, but I'll help him. I will listen to him. I will, I'm not going to be a prude because it's not right. How would I like to be treated so much like that? I'm a firm believer. Hey, man, be cool. No, I will quote these words from the great philosopher of the freaking 300th century. Don't start no shit when there'll be no shit. You know what I mean? Straight up. I'm not going to start it. You know what I'm saying? Hernandez, what do you think, man? I'm not trying to be. He probably hung up on me. He got mad at me.
No, I'm here.
Yeah. Hey, you need to be real. So, Hernandez, what you got for me?
I guess going back to it, you got to think of America as, again, yeah, we're a big mixing pot of people, and Americans are kind of most of the households are set in a certain type of way. For instance, I know that my aunt and uncle are super, super like mega Christians, and therefore I have a cousin who's transgender, and they kind of like they hate them. Like it's kind of one of those things where it's like, wow, they believe that they're doing this. It's like a trend thing, or they're doing it to spite the family, whatever. And my cousin is a female transitioning into a male, and like they've done just about everything. They have facial hair. It's scary. Like I'm not used to it. You know what I mean? Like me as someone who's a little bit more open and accepting to something like that. Like I have gay friends. I have a few trans friends. Whatever. I'm open and to them. They're people. Duh. But I'm also not down with someone, again, forcing ideologies. Again, I'm okay, though. Like, I'm open to hearing some of the things, but a lot of the stuff I totally disagree with of what they're saying. But again, there's a lot more people that are way more against it than you are, than Gomez is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gomez holds probably the more stronger opinion of all three of us.
You're goddamn right.
But there are people who are worse than Gomez who actively attack these people, or even, just because of how they were pushing their narrative in mainstream media. For instance, when they would bring transgender and what do you call them, drag queens to like schools, elementary schools, and try and show that kids could do drag and stuff like that.
The
Like,
fuck?
it wasn't. Oh yeah, that was a big thing. And,
No.
People like Ben Shapiro would stand up and kind of go on his rants and tangents against that. There's actually like a few talks where he's like completely against it. And I mean, to an extent, he has his right to be against it, just because of how quick something like that excels. You're talking about kids, someone whose foundation of their very being is being developed, and things that they learn as children, they grow up as adults and kind of still carry on their shoulders, even if they're a little bit more understanding of the world around them. But sometimes they still carry these core values, like you guys are saying earlier.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of difficult, you know what I mean? To say, hey, I'm okay with that in my school. Especially since schools now work against everybody. They're like, well, we can do whatever we want to within our walls.
Fuck
Even
them.
against police officers. Like if there's a suspect that is a student at the school, usually like the dean or the principal will, just depending on who they are, if it's a more liberal, based principal or a, liberal, I guess liberal base would work. There's a video where they weren't allowing him on campus.
Oh my God, why?
On campus. Like it's nuts. I mean, it's everywhere though. People aren't statistics. People don't all think the same way, unfortunately, unless a narrative is being pushed that way by an influencer or a mainstream media or something like that. And that's kind of where I think individualism comes into play. Like all three of us have different views on the same subject, and that's just three of us. There's fucking millions of people that we're talking about in this world that could honestly have different opinions and different views on this exact same subject that we're speaking on, more harsher than others. And I mean, that goes with all politics and beliefs, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I guess going back to what he was saying before, the accountability kind of goes into, well, who wants to do that? You know, there are actually like big companies, video game companies, that were trying to make those changes. There's actually a card company, Wizard of the Coast, who wasn't hiring white people. White men specifically do not need to apply to these new positions that are opening up. Was literally something that they put out, like an actual official company. Like, I don't know, man. Like, things are weird now. And talking about things, some are taboo and some aren't. You can say something wrong without even thinking about it. And you can, tomorrow, this whole damn YouTube channel can be gone.
It's fucking, yeah, and that's fucking stupid. I don't know, like what? Like, I'm not promoting hate or anything. I'm just trying to just keep it real. Not keep it real, I'm just, okay. I'm just trying to say my opinion about shit. Like I said before, man, I'm not about it. And if anyone wants to challenge me about saying I'm homophobic or anything like that, call me, talk to you. And, you know, if I was that much of an asshole, I wouldn't be doing some of the shit I do, because I actually am kind of a helper to people like that. But whatever. You want to get all mad about something I said? Want to ban me? Fuck it. Life goes on.
But it should not be pushed onto kids in schools. And I'm a believer on that. You know, the whole LGBTQ, XYZ, ABC, DEF, whatever. I don't believe it should be pushed on kids in school. That should definitely not be a thing. Like, you can't be like, oh, 6-year-old kid, or say, for instance, you're born with a son. Oh, I don't want a boy. I wanted a girl. No, that's, you know, that I believe is wrong. Like, it should not be forced on kids at school. Like, kids should not be forced to be, oh, hey, so there's 20 different genders, so you guys can be whatever you want.
But their argument against that is it's easier to, I guess, conform now and identify now at such a young age than it is to all of those that are having an issue later on in high school or college and stuff like that. And that's where all the suicide, death rates, and, you know, depression comes into.
Yeah, but see, that goes back to...
I'm not saying I agree, but I'm saying that that's their argument, and that's why they're pushing that in schools now.
Yeah,
and I do agree with what you're saying on that, but it goes down to, like, I feel like if, you know, people are trying to push you in schools, you're forcing something that genders or whatever. You're basically, I feel you're influencing him to, you know, at a young age, change what he wants. I mean,
again, I'm not saying I agree to that, but I mean, agree with their narrative. But I'm saying that that's why it's happening. And yeah, you're correct. But I mean, I don't know.
I just feel it's influencing them.
There's a right thing to say and a wrong thing to say. I guess that can be. I don't really like talking about it.
I just don't like. I'm not about it, man. I'm not. It's not popping for me, man. I'm not.
Not even wipe your own asses, right?
Yeah, kids. Why is shit so fucking complicated now? Like, I don't know what to say, man. I'm just burnt out on it, dude. I'm over it. I'm fucking not feeling it, dog. It's not popping for me.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I'm just, you know, it's just a powerful community to attack, because if you attack them, they're gonna shut you down. They're gonna win. It's like a big bully. You know what I mean? Like, I'll never agree with it, man. I'll never. I'm very big in freaking boy-girl roles. Very big in that shit, man. I don't think a man should ever. You know, you even watch soap operas. I don't think a man should ever dress. None of that shit, man. It's just not me. You know, especially being a father, it's a burden response. You need to be a parent to your kid, man, and you need to freaking do everything that you can to set your kid right and make sure your kid got everything they need. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, man. You know, I guess I'm a dinosaur, but I can't get with it, man. Can't. I'm not gonna do it. Nope. Nope.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, you're not the only one, man. I mean,
yeah, but I'm not gonna go around,
way.
you know, attacking people that think like that or bashing them. Nah, man. Like, it's the same thing with that fucking goddamn abortion shit, man. I'm so sick and tired of it. Like every time I'm on YouTube, I'm trying to. First of all, I'm gonna bang bros. And the government can't infringe on your freaking your life, and that's to me about it. Take the emotion away, take all that shit away. Take the amendment, man. Take the amendment. Take the amendment. That's what I'm about. It was decided already with Roe versus Wade. Get over it. Move on. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's true.
I don't even want to get into it, man. I hate argue. I fuck because of Hernandez. Fucking homeboy. Not you, Hernandez. The other Hernandez. I fucking hate conservatives, man. Fucking dumb motherfuckers, man. Really are.
The thing I think about him is he's a listener. He doesn't actually retain anything that's being said.
Oh, he retains things? Yeah, sure.
That's it. He just sucks it in and doesn't actually listen. There's just, for instance, I know that I challenged him a while back against something that he believed in. His friends just jumped in and just kind of were like, "Oh yeah, George Floyd deserved to die," and it's like, okay. I mean, it's a little gross, but okay. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like I don't think anyone here can judge another person and say like, yeah, you deserve to die.
No.
Especially not because of what he was convicted of and what he had already, did his time for. And they bring up his old crimes. And like I think we talked about this before. If you do your time, you have made up your, made up for your crime in society, and it should be put behind you. And
yeah, that's called rehabilitation, right?
Right. And that's something that I 100% agree with, especially since, like, when I challenged him, he just kind of, like, he didn't have anything to say. He didn't know why he believed it. There are several times where you ask him a question, and he just says, "Oh, Mexicans, man, or like illegal immigrants." And it's just like,
yeah.
well,
You should have seen what he was writing on the Instagram, man. That dude.
Oh, about how he wanted to join so he wanted to get orders there. So
Oh yeah, but on this podcast, that shit. Dude, he's. I don't know, man. I don't know why I had him again to follow me, man. That dude's just
fucking retard.
Yeah, man. Like, fuck, dude. Like, I really hate conservatives because of him. I just, like, fuck, man. It really was just baffling, like, how somebody can think that. And he says you have a lot of hate in your heart. I'm like, a lot of hate in my heart. You're the one that wants to join the Border Patrol and go shoot Mexicans, end quote. You're the one that, what else did he say? You're the one, kinds of dumb
here's
shit.
The thing, though. You can't, technically, he says you have a lot of hate in your heart, but yet, you're not like literally this person that just hate you. Yeah, you hate everything, but you have a valid reason of why you can hate these things. Like you hate a certain race because you have a valid reason for it.
I hate everybody, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you don't just go around and be like, "Oh, I hate you. I hate you." I don't know why, but I hate you.
But damn, bro, why is he so stupid? And that goes back to my thing about parents failing to teach your kids anything good.
I mean, he's like, what, 40? He's old as his mom and dad?
He's old, yeah, he's older than I am.
His roommates.
Did you guys see him at, like, fucking Family Day? Where
slanging fucking toys in his trunk?
And nobody, like, he was just sitting there by himself for, like, maybe an hour and a half. And not a single person went over there to look at what the fuck he was peddling. I mean, man, fuck, dude. If you want to get into politics, people at the unit, there are a lot of these dumb motherfuckers that probably aren't even stable enough to go on this deployment. Like, just as a person. Fuck, I don't even really want to talk about it, but you remember when... yeah, you know what? No, I'm going to bring that up.
Bring it up. Fuck it. Do this. Do this. Leroy Jenkins.
No. Because I'll bring it up to you on a personal talk or something.
All right. Oh, shit.
It's that kind of good.
I mean, yeah. I don't want him to get in trouble. First sergeant and everything. I'd rather not even bring it up. But yeah, man, there are a lot of people that I think join for the wrong reasons. Like,
yes,
as you're saying, like, he wants to join Border Patrol to mow down Mexicans, or he was posting pictures of there was like some dead dude on the ground. It said the only good cholo is a dead cholo, and just like stupid shit like that. And they're unhinged, just unhinged, and not really worth anything. His opinions are not even his. Like they're literally somebody else's. He just copy pastes. And his stupid ass friends,
Oh my God.
I'll probably live with their moms too.
Yeah.
Just sit there and they echo chamber and they breathe each other's fucking
I remember that
asses
on
in.
that.
Yeah,
Facebook
he
post.
did. He posted that shit.
I remember on
yeah.
that Facebook post, you commented on it, and then he had a bunch of his friends come in and start attacking you, and you're just
Oh,
sitting
fuck
there
them, dude. Yeah,
You're just sitting
no,
there like,
no.
okay,
You should have tagged me. My friend Myra, I've known her for years. So she's asking, she put grandma's boy and shit like that about Hernandez. Myra, you have no idea who Hernandez is. He's just
No,
he hurts my intelligence, man. Like, I went, isn't like my degrees in freaking arts or women's studies. It's a pretty prestigious degree. Not to my horn, but he hurts my head, and just like the shit he says is like, you're the reason why we have problems in this world. Like, I was gay. Brenda said that. Brenda will fuck you up,
I know
dog.
she would.
Brenda, I'm scared of her. But anyways, but it goes back to just damn, bro. Like, man, he's just and Myra's right. He just wants attention because a lot of the times, it's just like he wants attention. Like he wants some shock and awe. And it's just like, dude, here's a ball. Go play with it. Go over there and play with it because you can't figure shit out on your own. And it's like, fuck, man, But I don't know, man. It just goes to show you like the ignorance of the conservative side and the liberal side,
Yeah, it was actually interesting. I never really knew. Like, I got introduced to politics probably around my 10th or 11th grade year in high school.
Yeah.
So, like, when I very first got introduced to it, I thought there was a right and wrong side. Like, I always thought, like, oh, yeah, it's black and white, whatever. I never actually knew that there was, like, stupid-ass conservatives. Like, I mean, I probably should have known, so naive. But I remember being, like, I would listen to Sargon of Akkad. I would listen to, I would listen to Ben Shapiro. I would even listen to Tucker Carlson, and just listening to them, I was like, oh yeah, this is correct. Like this is right. Just because how they portrayed their arguments and how they fit and how they spoke was so well. But later on down the line, when you actually like listen to the other side and how baffling it sounds, and then you listen back to someone like Hernandez, who's practically on the same side as like the people that I'm listening to or I'm being influenced by, and you're just like, well. That's fucking nuts. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just as crazy as the other side of the argument. And I mean, I can't get behind half of the shit he says or posts. And I mean, he has the right to post these things.
Oh yeah, he does. You have a right to be stupid.
But a wise man once told me, it costs money to be stupid too.
I don't know who to tell you that. But yeah, it costs a lot of money to be stupid. My blood hurts from sitting on the seat so long. But I don't know, man. I just if there's more Hernandezes out there, and there's more.
There's plenty.
Yeah, and it's not just him. It's I can't think of a liberal friend I have that's pretty just man. But it just you're gonna have these problems. You're gonna have these differences in the society. You're gonna have these people trying to divide us, and just it sucks, man. It really does.
Like the other mini Hernandez we have at the unit, Gonzalez. I mean, I remember that day in the Humvee we were driving. He's going at Mario for all kinds of shit. And Mario's just sitting here like.
Well, he's just misinformed.
Yeah,
but he just doesn't know enough to put up a decent argument. He doesn't like. So I think he was talking about Venezuela.
What about it?
Well, it was either Chile. Fuck, dude, it was somewhere south of the border.
Yeah,
somewhere.
It was one of the Latin American countries.
He was talking about that. The reason why their country is fucked and failing is because they're exporting all of their resources to, other countries, aka the U.S. Like they're exporting a lot of like different, just whatevers. And those who are exporting are gaining while the country suffers. He says that he believes that it should be isolated and that they should keep their resources to themselves and they should build their country up, and then everybody would be wealthy, yada yada. It'd be a perfect world. The only thing that I say about that is outside influences. For instance, if you try to cut America out of a deal,
Oh, no. America beat that ass.
no, exactly. You cut America out of a deal, you go missing, and someone takes your place who says, you know what, we should export all of our shit to America, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was explaining to him that's how that works. And
Yeah.
he didn't even think about that. He didn't even take into accountability of the espionage and politics that kind of work like that. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't even think about it. It didn't even cross his mind.
Yeah.
And so he didn't really have an argument for it other than, well, that's not how it should work. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
maybe not, but that's how it does work. That's how things get, that's how people get stronger. It's how people get richer. That's how more, that's how you capitalize on things, is making sure that you're always cut into a deal. But he just doesn't, he's not exactly in.
No, he's not.
Though he's not like fucking crazy. I think he has some radical views, but you got to think of it this way: he is in college, and college campuses are just a fuck. Everybody has a soapbox. It's weird.
Yeah, I have one too.
I mean, I got almost persecuted by a bunch of people in bio class for a comment, and it was basically we're talking about covalent bonds, and the professor's like, someone give me an example of a weak bond? I was like, oh, my marriage, for instance. Professor laughed, a few other people laughed, everyone else in class just looked at me and just started like you can't, like the lady girl next to me said, you can't be saying that stuff.
The fuck?
I'm like, why not? It's the truth. That's a weak ass bond right there. And it's just kind of my first time in college, like, wow, like, yeah, I didn't say anything that offensive and people already got like, oh.
Yeah. All right, well, before I close this out, I got 5 viewers. Anybody got any kind of questions? Because I want to go on Bang Bros, do my meet and go to sleep. Anybody got anything going on? Anything at all? Any questions? I can see you guys' little live chat shit, and all I got is freaking Myra on it. Anybody else? Any questions whatsoever? Before the Fall Shepherd goes and does what he does best. Anybody at all? What Bang Bros category? I'm going to go for big booty Latinas because I love me some butt. And then there's a new one right now. I'm really feeling that, God, I can't remember that girl. It's Kaya something. I'm all about it. Anybody else? Anybody else? Want to share my Bang Bros password? I'm a gold member, so I got the good shit. Let me know what you need. I'll post my password up. Just don't be on between 1 and 3 because that's my time. All right? It's my time to shine. Anybody got anything else? Going once. Going twice. Hey, by the way, Hernandez is really single. Mario drives a Mustang, but he's not a fuckboy. Good guy, really educated. Nope. Going 3 times. White Claw, say something before we leave. I don't know what the fuck. I'm not your boss. Say something you want. What, Brenda, you say anything? Drink, fight, and fuck. I have a 68 Mustang. I have one too. I love Mustangs. Anybody else? Anybody else? Second time. Hernandez, got anything?
No, sir.
Thank you all for watching another inspiring fucking 2-hour fucking film of the fucking False Shepherd. The marriage one, is it up yet? Hernandez, not yet.
It just finished processing, so I'll put it up.
Dude.
It should be up by the morning.
Watch the fucking marriage one. It's about marriage, kids, and everything. It's the best thing ever, man.
I think next time we should
have rules, not drink.
Yeah, and also outline what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah,
obviously this is just first time going live and kind of an experiment just to see how comfortable it is and what we can do. But I honestly think it went pretty smoothly. I don't think it went.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, last time. I got Bang Bros on standby right now. I got Valerie K on. She got a big butt. I love me some big booty Latinas. Anything else? In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. That's all I got. Hernandez, I love you, buddy.
Love you too, sir.
All right, man. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
Okay.
I'll call you.
Yes,
see you
sir.
tomorrow. I made it in the podcast, but don't hang up yet. All right? I'm going to send you some nudes. All right?
Sure. Thank you.
All right. It's done. Hey, Hernandez.